Hi, Phil Schoenberg, Fast Pitch Power. I want to start today's post by making it very clear that it is never our intention to criticize or disparage what other coaches do, what they teach, or how they teach it. It is only our intention to make absolutely certain, to the best of our ability, that our followers and our students are given information that will enable them to become the best they can be as windmill pitchers. I was directed to a YouTube video of another pitching coach showing her student, or demonstrating to her student, the most effective way to throw a curveball. Now, when we talk about movement pitches, and we've talked about this before, we talk about setting your body up and establishing a solid, stable throw zone in order to deliver your pitches, your movement pitches. It doesn't have to be your movement pitches, your fastball, your changeup, whatever pitch it is that you're throwing requires a stable throw zone that is pointing at where you want the ball to go. So in this particular case, this coach had indicated that the best way to throw a curveball, with her student standing there, was to reach up the front side of the circle, track by having your stride foot land a little bit to the right of the power line. This was a right-hand pitcher. Tuck the elbow into the back hip, which in our scenario is the back of the throw zone. And now here's where the problem comes in. And I see this is a very common problem. I see it in a lot of our young pitchers and a lot of the pitchers who come to us having trouble with their movement pitches. From this position, this particular coach was saying, now open your shoulders and hips as you bring your pitching hand around, step to the side, and end up at your opposite hip. The problem with this is the movement of the front side of your body. If you see the difference between the movement of my hand when my shoulders and hips are rotating, you will notice that I am going a lot farther to get to my destination than I would be if I maintained that solid front side, just moved my lower arm, and drove through. So instead of bringing my whole body around to get to this point, which is moving my destination away from my pitching hand, thereby lengthening my delivery, and if you saw from behind what this pitcher was doing, the effectiveness of that movement pitch was diminished by that upper body and torso movement. Instead of going straight down the pitching lane and biting and breaking quickly, that ball was drifting, losing altitude, and it was easy to see there was a little bit of curve on it, but there was very, very little break. Now, we've talked before about how important it is to establish front side resistance. I'm going to demonstrate something now with a couple of rubber bands, and you could do this yourself. I'm going to take a rubber band, hopefully you can see this, I don't know how well you can, and I'm going to extend that rubber band, and I've got it on my pointer finger on my left hand, and I want you to pay attention to how explosive this rubber band is leaving my finger. Watch. Okay, very fast. Now I didn't move this finger. Now watch. If I do exactly the same thing and I allow that front side resistance to break down, I'm going to move my finger forward, which means the rubber band has a longer distance to travel before it leaves that finger now, and my resistance is gone. You will see what happened to that rubber band. I pulled it back just as far, I let it go just as quickly, but as that front side, that finger broke down, that rubber band, instead of shooting out quickly, just kind of drifted forward and dropped to the ground. Well, the same thing is happening with your speed pitches and your movement pitches if you're allowing that front side to break down. So when we throw a curveball, we want to make certain that, yes, I agree with this pitching coach. I want to be slightly over the power line, which creates that front side resistance. But here, I want my throw zone to be as small as possible and as tight as possible, and I want my pitching hand to get to my destination as quickly as possible, imparting the maximum amount of spin on that ball. It's the spin that makes the ball move. And what my hand does going down that pitching lane is going to determine, my hand does going down the throw zone rather, is going to determine what that ball does going down the pitching lane. So if I want late bite and break, I've got to quickly get to my destination, imparting a lot of spin on that ball and enabling or fooling the batter into thinking that that's a straight pitch, not a ball that is gently curving in or out of the strike zone and losing altitude, but rather a pitch like that rubber band that's going to go quickly forward and then dart to the outside corner or the inside corner, depending upon how you're throwing it. But the critical component of the delivery of this movement pitch and any movement pitch and any of your pitches is establishing a solid, immovable, stable throw zone and maintaining that throw zone all the while you're delivering the pitch. If the throw zone is moving, if your upper body is moving, you're losing the resistance that you need for maximum speed and maximum movement. Love to hear your experiences in this. I hope that this has been useful. I'll talk to you next time.